I think we can assist America. I saw.
Probably even we're doing the same right now. But data protection is a big problem.
So I saw President Trump struggling. I think we can send some experts.
Just stood in front of over 800 American generals at Quantico and said this: "We will now defend our own borders instead of wasting time in Kenya or Somalia." You don't believe me? Let's listen to this together.
Defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it. Together with many of you in the room, we've brought back the fundamental principle that defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly. After spending trillions of dollars defending the borders of foreign countries, with your help, we're defending the borders of our country from now on. We're not going to let this happen. Biden let people come in from prisons, mental institutions, drug dealers, murderers. You know, we had 11,488 murders allowed into our country by this guy who had no clue.
Family, this is just a new statement from the it has happened just now. Donald Trump has accused the Kenyan-US military partnership, the US-Kenya military partnership, a waste of time and money. But Trump is a person who just speaks, but sometimes you find it as like an insult or accusation, but inwards there's some truth of all that he's speaking about. And today, we are having the military bases in Africa, in Kenyan and other African countries from the US, which are the US militaries. But these bases are not here for us. It's not here to fight Al-Shabaab. It's not here to fight jihad. It's not here to fight the ISIS. But these bases are only here to secure and protect the US interest. These bases are here to monitor the movements because they are launching their drones here to monitor the Somali, to monitor the Russia and China movement here in Africa. So we, just like the other day, like when in UN, Kenya spent a lot of money just to go, the president to go and represent in a UN summit. But what did the Ruto come home with after that summit? He came with nothing but just the photos of him and Macron, Donald Trump, and as he went to gift Emmanuel Macron our resources. That's all that he came up with. But after that, what the common citizens, the taxpayer benefited from this trip? There is nothing. And at the end of the day, they came up being insulted, being lectured, just like kids, not being recognized as the leaders of some countries, not being recognized by Donald Trump as the commander-in-chief of certain countries. So this is the world that we are living with. So when Donald Trump today come out and said that the military of the US-Kenya military partnership is a waste of time and money, then we have to ask ourselves, what is he meaning? What does what can be the meaning of this? Because if now, like Trump is saying that the invention is just within them, but they are not gaining anything from this partnership of their militaries in African countries. If they could have not been getting the benefit of this partnership, we have many U.S. military bases across Africa. What are they gaining or benefiting from these bases, from these military bases? What are they benefiting? Because we have many U.S. military who have died across Africa and other different, which is out of U.S. We have many U.S. military who have been killed by the terrorists. And the country of US is spending many billions of money for them to have these military bases across the world. So if they are not benefiting from this, then why do they have to go and install their bases across Africa? When today America withdrew their soldiers from Africa, let me say from Kenya, when US withdrew their military from Kenya, then the border issues, like the Somali-Kenya issues, the Al-Shabaab will still be there, and our soldiers, our military will still guard our borders. So whether we have the U.S. military or we don't have, this problem will not change, will not coexist, but the problem will remain there. The Al-Shabaab will still finding the way on how to attack our borders and our country. We remember all that happened during the past years, like Westgate bombing, like Dusit bombing, and many other places that was bombed by Al-Shabaab. What happened? We had the military, the foreign or the U.S. military here in Kenya. But what they did to stop or to prevent this to happen? What do they do to prevent the life that was taken from the innocent souls of Kenyans? We are still funding, because they are still, if they say that this is the wastage of time, it might be true, because the US are the one who are funding the training of African militaries. So if they have the good interest, as they are doing this in funding for their trainings, then they have to make sure that the people who are training, they don't have just to go and waste their time, to waste their money, but they have to support them in either way they can to make sure that they prevent and they protect their life, they protect and they prevent them not going or being seen like they are losing from all that is happening. Because we have many Kenyan militaries who are coming from the borders back to their homes in coffins. They were trained by the military, by US militaries. Their training was funded. So if they were funded, why do they not come and protect them from all this that is happening? Many Kenyans have come out hungry, and they're responding from this speech that has been made by Donald Trump as he was addressing the top military generals. And he has slammed the African and Kenyan military of their partnership, calling it a wastage of time and money. So let's move out of this. I earlier speak about these military bases, the US military bases in Africa. What are they doing? They are not built or installed here for our own benefit. They have been here since the time of colonization up to this time. That's why you see during the time Ibrahim Traore was coming to power, he first started to expel the military bases from Burkina Faso, because he believed that for him to deal with these people and for him to achieve his dreams and agendas, he must expel these people from his country so that he can have the best time to do all that he had to do. He must have this so that he have the best time to do and deal with his agendas, because there is no way you can be fighting the enemies while you have the agents or the people who are representing this the person who is an enemy to you. So all these military here are not fighting our own interests, but they are monitoring our moves. They are monitoring the people who support us. They are monitoring their own enemies on how they come to interact with us. That is their own. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing here in Africa. So by Donald Trump coming and humiliating, calling Africa and calling Kenya military, Kenya a US Kenya military partnership, the wastage of time, it has a lot of meaning. We might take it positively and maybe it's negatively. So just tell me, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Because many people have come out and reacted differently. So just tell me, speak out. Let's know, what do you think about this? Because this is the Donald Trump that we know. This is the Donald Trump that we know. He only respects himself, but not any other person. Thank you for your time and be blessed wherever you're from.